Is belief in yourself wrong? No. Where belief in self crosses the line is what I want to point out to you. Belief in self is not wrong because it is like believing in a chair, that a chair can hold your life. It is like believing in a rock. The rock is good for foundation. So just believing things in this world the way they are. It's like believing if you breathe in air, you will live. You stop breathing air, you will die. You don't need no science, no explanation. We live life by believing. All of life by believing. Even scientists do science by first of all beginning to believe, which they call hypotheses and theories. Believe is possible, and then that leads them to do what they do and finally achieve something. So that's just healthy belief. But unhealthy belief is a belief that crosses certain lines, and I'm going to show you 4 lines that unhealthy belief crosses. The first thing about unhealthy belief in self is this. Number one, when self says nothing is impossible with man. No. The scripture says all things are possible with God. Nothing is impossible with God. That's an attribute of God, not of man. So don't attribute that to yourself. No, don't. Man has not created something out of nothing. Man continues to do things by what using what God has already created. You cannot also use Philippians 4:13. Why? When Paul says, I can do all things through God who strengthens me, you need to know the all things. Because if it was so, Paul would have loved to say, not even go to prison, and he could stop himself from going to prison. Paul would have loved to just stand before the king and say, King, I decree that you give this judgment to me, and then he will be given that judgment and set free. Paul will not have suffered at all in his life, at all, nothing. Paul will not have been needing the church to contribute to him because he can just make the money. So don't misinterpret that. The second area where unbelief in self or unhealthy belief in self crosses the line is when it says whatever you set your mind on, you will achieve. No. Whatever? No. Ecclesiastes 9:11 says, and again, I saw under the sun, the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor the bread to the wise, nor the riches to the intelligent, nor favor to those with knowledge, but time and chance happens to them all. Don't you see that everywhere in life? Are the presidents of every nation the wisest, the strongest, the best? No. Are those who are rich the most intelligent and the most able? No, they are not. You see, so that's life. That's reality. And again, death can stop you and you don't have control over death. So to say, whatever you set your mind on, you can achieve. No, death can stop you. You need to understand that. James chapter 4, verse 14 to 16 says, come on now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go into such and such a town and spend a year, and there we trade and make a profit. Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, listen, you ought to say, this is speaking to believers. It did not say, you ought to decree. It said, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that. As it is, you boast in your arrogance. All such boasting is evil. So whoever knows the right thing to do and fails to do it, for him it is sin. So do not be deceived. Don't work and live in fantasies and illusions. Live in reality. Live according to what the scripture here says. We also find this. You cannot say whatever you set your mind on you can achieve because God has set the days of your life. Psalms number 139 verse 16 says, your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your book were written every one of them. What? The days that were formed for me, when as yet there was none of them. The third area where unhealthy belief in self crosses the line is when you say you can define your destiny. No, you can't define or set your destiny. Proverbs 16 verse 9 says, the heart of man plans his ways, but the Lord establishes his steps. You may start out in life pursuing one thing and you end up with another thing. That is all generally too common in life. So you can plan, this is what I want to be, and focus, and I've set my destiny, and you don't end there. It doesn't work that way all the times. And if you are a Christian, it becomes even more serious, because God is completely in control of your life. Your destiny has been set by Him, not you. You don't even know it. You don't even know it. You just need to keep employing your gifts, employing your talents, being faithful, following Jesus like Abraham, going to where you don't know, and Jesus will take you to where He has set for you, not you setting your destiny. Number 4 area where unhealthy belief in self crosses the line is when it says you are a God because Jesus said so. In John chapter 10, verse 34 and 35, Jesus answered them, saying, Is it not written in your law, I said you are gods? If He called them gods to whom the word of the Lord came, and scripture cannot be broken. So they use what Jesus said to say, okay, means you are God, so function like a God. Well, I'm not going to give a lot of explanation here because I have done a video on that, and I want you to check that video link at the end of this video, or you go to the description section, hit the link there, and go see what Jesus meant, and you will be shocked. God bless you.